As you all know, Tom Brady is suspended 4 games this year. But what you and the media don't know, what you don't sensationalize, is that he's sitting out these 4 games without pay. He will only be guaranteed 6 out of his $8 million. What would you do if I told you there was a quarterback standing right in front of you? A 3-time Super Bowl MVP quarterback who will now have trouble feeding his family after paying for his second vacation home in Tuscany. Or what if all you had to do was to reach into your back pocket and pull out $500,000 to save that quarterback? Only $500,000 a day. That's less than the cost of a Lamborghini Aventador to save that quarterback. Operators are standing by. Please call now, because the quarterback in front of you can't wait another moment. And for an additional $500,000 a day, I personally vow to cancel the box score. It starts right now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danettes in Milford. The NBA draft is upon us, and teams will be selecting what they hope will be the future of their franchise tonight. Now, McLovin, what would you say is the greatest draft class in NBA history?
Okay, I looked into this a little bit before the show, and some people will tell you it's the year that Kobe and Allen Iverson went. Other people will say it was LeBron, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade. But to me, there's no doubt. Listen to this, 1984. Hakeem, Sam Bowie, Michael Jordan, Sam Perkins, Barkley. Then you got John Stockton, Kevin Willis, Otis, my man Thorpe. You got Vern Fleming.
Michael Cage.
Jerome Kersey.
John Stockton?
I mentioned Stockton, I
Did you
believe.
have Carlisle in there somewhere?
Yeah, Rick Carlisle.
That's pretty
Oscar
awesome.
Schmidt, the Brazilian Olympic star who never played in the pros. And a bunch of guys I never heard of. Joe Binion. Remember Joe Binion out of North Carolina?
Jumpin'
A&T?
Joe Binion.
Joe Binion.
A&T.
Jeff Cross out of Maine.
Loved him.
Yeah, the Mainers. Well, one guy we've definitely heard of is Jay Billis. He joined the show today and talked about some of these top picks coming up this year.
Towns is going to be outstanding. He's outstanding now, and I think he's going to be a great NBA player. I favor Okafor, and Towns is more versatile, and he can do more things well. Okafor does one thing in such a dominant fashion that Towns doesn't do. I would take Okafor because of that, and that's his low post scoring. I mean, I think you're going to have to double team him as soon as he gets his uniform on. And I hear all this small ball stuff, and I don't discount it. You go small ball against any team that's got Okafor, and he's going to put 30 on the small guy you put on him. You're going to have to match his size and double him in order to keep him from scoring in the post.
You know, Jay's a good analyst, interesting guy, always has a original thought. But wouldn't you love to see someone who was analyzing someone who went to their own school? Jay went to Duke, Okafor went to Duke. What if he said, oh, Jahlil Okafor, bust? This guy's got no chance, what if he completely demolished him? It'd be the biggest moment of credibility of his career, even if it's just as a joke.
I don't even like that question. It's like asking Seton something objective about Tom Brady and Deflategate. Jay Billis, well, that was me. That was an unnecessary.
It's like your only line about Deflategate, though. It's like, yeah, but you're just biased.
Deflategate is gone from being a Tom Brady story to Cena O'Connor story. But the other thing is because Okafor's going to score 30, just like Mozgov scored 30 on that game and the Warriors won by 20. His take made no sense. I don't know why Jay Billis gets the genius tag.
It's the weirdest thing. These pre-draft things. You rarely hear anybody. I think I heard Merrill Hodge say this past year, "Oh, this guy's not going to work out. He is not going to be a good pro."
He's a call a bust guy.
Merrill is. Yeah, I'm going to give Merrill a lot of due. I've heard Merrill say about certain guys. I don't know if it's Winston.
Almost to the point where it's like you're waiting for him. Like, okay, let's see who he calls a bust this year.
Right, and you know what? You got to declare somebody because your odds are better than declaring them very good.
Yeah.
Like if I said there's 2 players who I think are going to not be very good players at all in the top 6, and no one cares what I think, but I'd be ready to say it. But I don't know if I would say it if I were a draft analyst because I might be afraid to whiff in the reverse direction.
Yeah, well, or you could go negative. Like, I know Nolan Naraki got fired basically for going all character.
Did he get fired or did he just get ripped up?
Well, he doesn't have a job anymore.
Okay.
I don't know why,
Fair enough.
but he went negative. He talked about character a lot, but hey, he was right about some things, clearly.
Well, that's like, I can't tell if Merrill was right about Tim Tebow or not. I mean, I don't know if he called him a bust, but he said he can't play in the league, which he could play a little bit, but doesn't have a gig either. So he was sort of like, that's one like you can't figure out which is which.
Eagles,
You know?
Eagles maybe. He's on the team right now.
Yeah. Well,
Chip Kelly keeps saying.
I think Merrill's
looking great.
more so in the right.
is he? Yeah.
Yes.
One thing right about Merrill is that double wins are not in his tie. Now, Seton, would you rather be first pick and go to Minnesota, or would you rather be second pick and go to Los Angeles in the NBA draft?
Oh, it's not even close. I'd rather go second to Los Angeles. Not even remotely close. Absolutely. Yeah, that's
Dude.
the way to go. I mean, you're still getting huge money, and you get to go play for the Lakers.
You ever been to that mall though? It's
Yeah,
totally
I'd
sick.
like to say I was
There's like a
in the
roller
World
coaster in the mall.
Yeah,
I'm not
Doesn't mean
joking.
you're going to be in
I'm
Minnesota.
pro
forever,
Minnesota. I like that
You
state
ever
a
been
lot.
to Santa Monica?
Man, oh
Yeah,
man.
that's true.
Oh,
I got Minnesota. I just read. This is very interesting. They have a skywalk that goes from the practice arena to all the players are housed in the same apartment building via skywalk.
Do you know why
That's
that
pretty
is?
nice.
There's nothing to do with
That's the only
Minnesota.
option.
No, because it's so cold out.
Because it's
there.
4
They
today.
need to keep people indoors as much as possible.
See, as someone who doesn't tan, I can respect
Take
Minnesota.
that
Hell
one, take the
no.
one pick.
Very
No
smart,
offense.
those people up in Minnesota. Well, there's a possibility that Okafor could drop below the second pick, and Kevin Ding, who covers the Lakers, talked about what Los Angeles might do with that second selection.
Well, I know everybody's, including me, a while back projected them to take Jahlil Okafor at number 2. But, I now expect the Lakers are going to take D'Angelo Russell, which would really shake things up there at the top. And they've just been wowed by Russell here in the past couple weeks, and he had a much better second workout with the Lakers than Okafor did. And the Lakers are just starting to come to a consensus that the special guy, the one that they believe that will be a guy to build the franchise around is Russell more than Okafor.
Tugging it.
Wow, that was sort of, everyone stopped on that one. That was like a record stopped in the room. And then we're all like, whoa, the Lakers are going to take Russell. But then again, like at the end of the show, Dan asked, who do you think they're going to take? And half of us said, 3/4 of us said Okafor.
There's, by the way, a side note, there's a guy on Twitter who every time we have Kevin Ding on sends me the same exact note. Hey, is this Kevin Ding or Landon Donovan? Ha 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 ha. Because they both have kind of monotone
He sounds
delivery
just like
voices,
Landon
kind of
Donovan.
like this, and they talk like this. But he sends it to me every time. I don't mind it, but it's funny that this guy sends it every single time.
Yeah. Kevin Ding's a fascinating
I
guy.
mentioned it to you today, too.
You did?
I said, man, he sounds just like Landon Donovan.
Someone tweeted, did you see
Although I don't
that?
remember getting a tweet about it, but maybe I did.
I get the tweet, why doesn't he announce his weight between his height and
Yeah.
weight before Kevin?
If anybody's going to do it, that's got to be
Mr.
Yeah.
Ding. That sounds pretty cool. Sounds like a Bond character. Ooh, Mr. Ding.
Or what we could do is when he comes on, Kevin Bing, and you hit the sound effect instead of saying his last name.
Could
Right.
do that. He's not sure.
Kevin Ding
I
needs
like
a
him giving his
lunchbox.
height and weight and
Yeah.
hitting like
That's
it's his
what-
middle name.
That's what we got to do.
Yeah, Kevin needs a lunchbox, just like Landon Donovan. Now, Fritzy, are you going to be watching any of the NBA draft tonight?
I'm going to watch a lot of the NBA draft. I don't know if I'm going to watch every single pick once it gets towards the middle to late second round, unless there's a couple of names in there that I'm familiar with, that we'd like to that I'd like to see where they go. But if I don't watch, I'm definitely going to watch the first full round and at least part of the second round. And again, I'll watch all of it if there's still a couple of names floating around that somehow didn't get picked by early second round.
Well, if $1 Million Listing is on, I can guarantee that I won't watch a single second. And you can take that to the bank. You know what else you can take to the bank? The fact that the Ram 1500 EcoDiesel is the most badass invention in the last 300 years. That's right. This thing can climb a hill, haul a trailer, plus it has a meat smoker in the glove compartment. All right, maybe that part isn't totally true. You want facts? You can get them at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram.
I don't know that there are new draft cliches, but you'll hear the appropriate use of wingspan and upside and size for position and things like that, and it'll get a little bit monotonous, but that's the way it goes. I'm just worried about the sobriety of the nation because we have an incredibly long draft class, so the word wingspan is going to come out, and the Jay Billis drinking game could get the Betty Ford Clinic back on its feet.
Welcome back to the Box Score. I may have spoken out of turn. I didn't know there was there is, of course, there's an NBA draft drinking game. You drink when certain terms are said, and wingspan is universally in all of these games. Now, Paulie, have you ever played a sports coverage drinking game?
I wouldn't say I participated, but I followed along with them. I like to read up on them before the draft, and like if I hear waist bender, I don't down my drink, but I know a lot of people around the country are during the NFL draft. Like more quick than fast is one of my favorites. When Mayak says that, a lot of people are getting tanked.
Well, after some searching, we found an old school Sports Center drinking game back when Dan and Keith were on it. And the viewer would have to take a sip when Dan uttered one of 6 phrases. Would you guys like to hazard a guess as to what those were?
Good.
Good.
Whiff.
And
Yes.
fuego.
Fuego.
Yep.
Nothing but the bottom of the net.
Correct.
That's a long phrase. That's 4.
Go yard?
Let's Play 2.
No, that wasn't him. So whiff,
That was
good.
Casey Stengel.
From Way Downtown Bang. That's why Way Downtown Bang is a
That
KO.
Do we say gone for home
Gone.
Gone. We
Gone.
did that. Yep.
One more,
run? You're
please.
not good. That's somebody else.
How many left, Broccoli?
One more.
Circle the Wagons. Nope. No.
No.
Boo. He's not a booyah.
Give it to us.
He wouldn't go booyah then.
All right, the one phrase you didn't get, you can't stop him, you can only hope to contain him.
Oh my God! Are you kidding
So weak of us.
me, dude?
That's a tough
That's-
one.
How did
Hey,
we miss that one?
Seton, what's your favorite drinking game of all time?
Man, I can't say the name of it because we called it. Well, I sort of
We
like
said it- we had the same
A-hole
name.
hour.
A-hole.
A-hole. I liked a lot. I liked A-hole. That was big. Beer pong's always a great one.
Can you describe
Although I'll tell you
A-hole for
what, I
us?
moved in for. It's more of a card game than anything else. Quarters is a lot of fun. Sort of old though, right? I mean,
Do you guys
Vintage.
ever do the Century Club? It's not a game per se, but you do a shot of beer every minute for
yeah.
100
We
minutes.
called that like power hour or hour per hour.
and it's amazing because it doesn't sound like a lot of beer, but it turns
it's a
out to
ton
be
of
a
beer.
ton of beer.
Dude, so I moved in. I called it the House of Dudes, and I moved in with these 4 or 5 other guys, and we did a lot of beer pong and a lot of power hours. But they took it really serious, where they would play a new song for 1 minute, and as soon as the song changed, you had to drink. The song changed, you had to drink. Song changed, you had to drink.
Oh, man.
It was awesome. It was so much fun because it made it great. Because you'd be like, "Oh, this is such a good song," or "This song sucks," or whatever. They took it very seriously, and they were skilled.
Brock, we did one in college. It was called a case race. It's exactly what it is. Everyone grabs a case of beer, and first one done with their case of beer wins. And I wrote actually a scouting report on the top like 10 or 12 candidates and put it up on the board in our fraternity house. And it's one of those days. It was like noon. Everyone was showered, ready to go, had lunch. Everyone's got their cases or outside in the front porch of our fraternity house. By I'm guessing 6 or 7 o'clock at night, it looked like Apocalypse Now, man. I mean, strewn bodies, you vomit cans. Doritos, everything. And I remember the guy who won when he finished his last beer. Like, he finished it, we're all cheering for him, congratulations. He's like, yeah, and he cracks one more. It didn't turn out well for him after that, but that day was very special.
Well, if you have a drinking game, send it to us here at the Box Score at our Twitter handle, The Box Score Show. All right. Oh, and of course there was Edward 40 hands, where you tape 40s to your hand. And you have to drink both of them before you can do anything with your hands. We'll get pretty messed up with that. All right. Well, if there was a drinking game, I'm sure it was
Edward
associated with the
40
Dan
hands.
Patrick
I've
show.
never
You would have to take a shot every time he mentioned that he wanted to be in someone's movie. All right. Coming up, the Pirates be invading Milford. Yarr. We are back here on the Box Score. Guys, summer is finally here, and you know that can mean only one thing. It's pirate season. It's also baseball season, but mainly it's pirate season. So to celebrate, we're going to play a little game called Pirate or Pittsburgh Pirate. It's going to be row versus row. I will give you a name. You tell me if they are a
I like
pirate or Pittsburgh Pirate. Back row, you are up first.
cool.
Charlie Morton, Pirate or Pittsburgh Pirate?
You know all the old
Charlie,
pirates.
what is it called? Charlie Morton.
Morton.
Charlie Morton.
Craig
That doesn't
Morton.
really sound like a pirate, like you'd be scared of. A pirate, someone with a patch on.
I don't know.
Chaz
I don't
Morgan.
remember him as a Pittsburgh Pirate. So
I mean, that could be from
Think
any.
about
It's
the-
not a current. It could be a pirate from
the
any.
producers, yeah, I think he's an actual nautical pirate.
Really?
I do think
Okay,
so.
well, then we'll go with that.
Is he
Actual
an
pirate with
actual
a patch and everything.
nautical pirate with patches? Sorry, gentlemen. He is an actual Pittsburgh
Old
Pirate.
school.
He pitcher for the Pirates since 1999. Front
Or
row.
it's Willie Stargell.
The name is Henry Morgan, Pirate or Pittsburgh Pirate?
Oh, is it an Ion and a Henry? Let's take a look here. Henry Morgan.
Henry Morgan's got to be a real Pittsburgh Pirate, right?
But then you got the
Hello,
Captain,
Captain Morgan.
guy.
That's it's got to be
It's a
Captain
trick.
Morgan. I don't know who
Might not
Captain
be.
Morgan is.
Sounds
Might
like
be
a
a
real
trick.
pirate. They want you to overthink it and think it's an actual.
You think it's a real pirate?
Arr, that's a real pirate.
Is it an actual real
It's Captain
pilot
Morgan.
pirate?
Well, blow me down. Well, blow me down. Well, blow me down.
What the hell was that? Yeah, it's an actual. It's Captain Morgan, sure.
Maybe you can help our team once and
I
not
should try to
their
help.
team. Yeah.
I should try to help point.
All right, back row. Archimedes Caminero, Pirate or Pittsburgh Pirate?
It can't be a Pittsburgh pirate.
Remember him?
Can't be
He's
a real
Dominican. He's
pirate.
Dominican.
Archimedes Caminero.
Archimedes.
Dominican.
Isn't Archimedes, isn't he the one that displaced the water? It's like, remember, wasn't that the one that went into the big bathtub of water and figured out some kind of math?
How can you
think
have all
about
these helpful hints for the other team and you have nothing? You have something- I don't even know what you're talking about.
Archimedes was the
The
big
dreaded
guy that went into the-
Archimedes.
right, he went into the tub and whatever the water that was displaced, he
I think it's a
kind of
real
math
Pittsburgh
for-
pirate. That's my.
All right.
But if you have the other,
I don't know. I thought it was that would be. I can't imagine that being an actual Pittsburgh pirate, Archimedes.
All
Will
right.
you guys ever make a choice?
Sounds like some 17th, 18th century person.
Pittsburgh pirate.
Is it a Pittsburgh Pirate?
Shortstop.
Well, blow me down. Well, blow me down. Well, blow me down.
Why would there be a nautical pirate named Archimedes
guess I-
Caminero?
The dreaded Archimedes,
Just didn't
man. That
sound like a
sounds more
player.
like an archangel.
Shortstop before Frank Tavares.
Oh, blow me down. All right, front row. Peter Easton, Pirate or Pittsburgh Pirate?
It's
Peter
Captain
Easton.
Peter Easton.
Easton baseball bat, though.
You got Mike
The Easton
I wonder if that's like
big
Captain Hook.
barrel, small barrel. What are they? Big
What if that's Captain Hook's real name?
Pete?
We're gonna go Pirate of the Seas.
Yeah, is it a Pirate of the Seas?
Well, blow me down. Well, blow me down. Well, blow me down.
Yes, congratulations, Pirate. 17th
Well done.
century pirate who terrorized the Newfoundland coastline. Back row.
Loved his work.
William Portobello, Pirate or Pittsburgh Pirate?
That's definitely a pirate.
baseball player.
My hunch was a nautical pirate. You think it's a baseball pirate?
They called him Billy Portobello around the clubhouse.
Billy Porter.
Your guess, Todd. I've guessed so far.
All right, I'm gonna say William Portobello
Blackbeard
was
Billy.
an actual pirate, nautical pirate.
Was it an actual nautical pirate?
Well, blow me down. Well, blow me down. Well, blow me down.
Yes, the infamous booby trap setting pirate, also known as One-Eyed Willie from the 1985
Still
flick
think it could have been a
The
lot.
Goonies.
Willie.
You're the one they call Mount.
Copperpot.
All right, front
$50
row.
bill. $50 bill.
Howell Davis, Pirate or Pittsburgh Pirate?
Crafty left-hander.
He's slap hitter. Kind of a slap hitter.
Yeah.
How?
No, he definitely had Tommy John.
Well, let me tell you something,
3
okay?
times.
There couldn't be a less intimidating name for a pirate than Howl. Right?
Might have been third base before Phil Garner.
I'm here to conquer ye land. It's
Oh,
Howl.
lovey.
What?
We're gonna say baseball player.
Garner shortstop.
Was it a baseball
Tim Foley
player?
played short.
What team?
Pirates.
Ah!
Third base Pirates. Then he went to the Astros.
He was a pirate. He was born in Milford Haven, Wales, and was turned pirate
Von Herz
after the
died.
ship he was serving on was
I think he's
captured.
mainly third.
I heard
So-
he also played for the Pittsburgh Pirates, so we get half a point. After his pirating, actually, whilst pirating,
Thurston Howell the third or whatever.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
a couple
I,
months of pirating, a couple months of striking people out.
yeah, I
Who's
think
the
he
original?
preceded Abner Doubleday and maybe threw some oranges around, threw them off the
Two-sport
boat. That's why
athlete.
everyone got scurvy. All right, everyone ties, so congratulations. This is the box score. Yar. We are taking a break.
We all get a trophy.
To remind you, the Ram Heavy Duty, with its best-in-class towing and torque and horsepower and all that stuff, doesn't need one. And it commands all the C's, all 7 C's, even the dressings. Thousand Island. All right, Guts, Glory, Ram.
Commissioner, the point is the series is going to be decided on Robert Ory's hip check with Steve Nash.
You know, I'm going to wrestle with you, and you better stop that. It's not being decided by that. It's being decided because two Phoenix Suns who knew about the rule and forgot about it, couldn't control themselves, and didn't have coaches that can control them, and don't you forget it.
Okay, Commissioner.
Welcome back to the box score. Today, Dan was reliving the days when he was jabbing back and forth with Commissioner Emeritus David Stern in the 2006 NBA draft. McLovin, why did DP and Stern, why did they always clash?
I think because they liked each other. They liked to intellectually challenge each other. It was like a chess match every time they spoke.
Also, because Dan's not scared of the commissioner. I think David Stern is a classic. I wouldn't use the word bully. He's a guy kind of out, like an intellectual bully. He kind of outthinks you and kind of puts you in your place. And you get a little nervous to ask him a question because he's a commissioner of a sport, as if it's, as if he's the king of a country. And Dan was like, hey, I'm going to ask you questions like anybody else, and we'll go back and forth. And I do think, like McLovin said, he enjoyed it, the sparring.
Yeah.
Now, Fritzy, if DP gets on the commissioner's bad side, how can that affect the show?
I don't think it would affect the show drastically. It's not like Adam Silver has been on all that often. We haven't really invited or wanted Gary Bettman in recent years. But it's good. And Roger Goodell is also someone we've been trying to get on for a while, and for some reason he's been ducking us. So that whole relationship hasn't really affected our show.
Do you think they're not coming on because of things like that? That they know that Dan's not going to give them a soft seat?
I believe that they rather go on shows where they're going to get softball questions, and they know Dan is going to stick to journalism and ask the tough questions that other sports show hosts may be afraid to answer because they're kind of kissing the commissioners.
Is it them, or is it possibly a PR person has that concern? Like, they don't want to deal with that.
I think
maybe
you're
the request
right.
isn't getting through.
That makes more sense to me because Adam Silver's not scared of Dan Patrick. Either is Roger Goodell. And but the request could maybe never get to them.
That's the weird thing, Adam Silver. Like, what are you really going to hammer him on right now? There's nothing to like really go after him.
Yeah, compliment him for what?
Yeah, like when are you fixing one and done? You got to step up. Like, you just got.
Rob Manfred came on relatively quickly, but I do believe that, in my opinion, in part, that when we go through a stretch of time where we've asked for one of the other commissioners, whether it's basketball, football, and they haven't readily been available, but yet they've been on other shows. It's not a dislike for Dan. I think whether it's the PR person or the actual commissioner, there is some concern about Dan's.
Maybe it's a dislike for someone else.
I would hope that it's not the pestering.
Now we're getting somewhere.
But I think
funny that none of the commissioners of any of the major sports will come on the show anymore.
That way.
And every time they talk to Dan, they're like, Dan, it's such a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, why don't you ever call?
Yeah.
Bud Selig used to say that. Anytime, I'll grab my hot dog in Milwaukee, and then all of a sudden he was unavailable for a few years after saying, call me anytime and I'll come right on.
Dan.
Could be me then.
The sport is.
Hey, Seton, other than the mothership, are there other long-standing grudges against Dan that make it difficult to book certain guests for the show?
I bet there's a billion of them, but I don't really know. I mean, it's not like other networks necessarily or anything like that, or like, oh no, we can't do that. Sometimes business gets in the way a little bit when there's like feuding companies or something, but that's not because of Dan. There's definitely personal grudges or something where people
couple
like
players.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. But there's really nothing you could do about that.
We could use some new ones though. We could use some new grudges.
Yeah, we need
Should
new
we really
grudges.
get mad? Like, so we could really piss somebody off here.
LeBron would be good.
LeBron would be
Kill
good.
coverage.
He's
No,
not doing it
LeBron's
anyway.
great when he's on.
Kevin Love disappeared all of a sudden. He was great for a long time.
Then he
and
came
stopped
back.
coming on.
That wasn't
3 months
personal.
ago.
Yeah.
Not like A-Rod, who famously
Yeah,
got
A-Rod.
mad.
Oh, that was
yeah.
a great
Matt
one.
Kemp's been a little bit of a mystery for.
Dan
Sorry,
did
guys.
well with the, I'll call them the steroid era Yankees. There were a lot of people.
Gambino.
There were a lot of people wrapped up in there that weren't too fond of Dan.
That were once
was,
close.
Yeah, that were once cool. Like go have beers and stuff, and not
And there's
anymore.
McGuire was for a while, but then he came on the show, and everything seems to be
Oh,
doing
they're
now.
boys now, yeah.
Yeah, they hang out a lot.
I used to love Dan for a while, Dan would start so many interviews by, "You mad at me?" They're like, "No, man, we're cool." "You sure? I heard you were pretty mad at me." "No, man,
Well,
we're
recently
good."
Jay Williams addressed a
Yeah,
little
that came out
beef.
of left field when we had Jay Williams.
Oh, yeah,
And
no,
also
he's-
he's addressing things.
One time you said 3 years ago. That's right.
All right, the man that has to work through all this to book people. Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
We will talk to Connor McDavid, who's the expected #1 pick in the NHL draft, which starts tomorrow night, of the Erie Otters. And he's got the pressure of being called the
Why don't you
LeBron
save
James of
some of it
hockey.
for tomorrow's show instead of doing the entire Connor McDavid life
And
story?
the next great one is another nickname that Connor McDavid has. We'll also talk to Doug Gottlieb, who will help us recap tonight's NBA draft of CBS, college basketball analyst.
Very good. Thank you,
And
gentlemen.
some
We
other
are back
surprises.
tomorrow, same time, same channel. You want the podcast? It is available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!